Dana Elizabeth Cedeño Javier. Clearly that's super long, so my nickname is Divs. Before we get into the class content, so week 1, January, first week, mind, and hanumanasana, I want to give you a little bit of an agenda of today, but then also kind of how we will be moving and working together for 365 days of yoga. First and foremost, warm up. Let's kind of come into a seat that feels safe for you. I have some yoga props. I'll teach you how to use them periodically. And once you're in that seat, we'll do a warm up. Second, I'll explain the 365 days of yoga using my calendar. It's right in here. We'll be in a different area of, or spacing or geography, I should say, just so that you can get a better sense of what that looks like. 3, why hanumanasana? So why did I pick this pose for January and why we're working towards this pose on this month? And then 4, the class content itself, dharana, dhyana, concentration, meditation. These classes moving forward will be specifically towards those limbs of yoga. And I really want to make sure that we understand, 1, the difference between the two, and then 2, just kind of like the practices that we'll work towards in order to be able to do each of them. So thank you so much, and let's go ahead and start our warm-up. Every class I'll start differently. Because this is a mind class, I want to make sure that we warm up in order to kind of like have our ears open and our minds open from whatever seat that you've chosen. Just kind of like make sure that the base of the spine is really rooted down into the floor, the mat, wherever you are. And then almost kind of like lift up through that. Your legs can be crossed, your feet can be together in a butterfly Baddha Konasana pose. Your legs can be out in front. You could use maybe, let's say, a pillow if sitting is uncomfortable. You don't need any yoga props ever. They're quite expensive, but if you have them, we'll use them. And so if you want to sit on a block, you can. First thing to do is place both of your hands onto your knees. Maybe close your eyes if it feels good for you. On an inhale, open up the chest, look up, stretch the neck, breathe into that. Exhale, curl and curve into yourself. So bring your chin in towards your chest and curl the spine from that base that we spoke about. So let's do that a couple of times. Every inhale, you open up, you look up, you create space, you bring your elbows kind of like in towards you. Every exhale, you curl, you engage, you almost like straighten your arms as you do this. Let's find about 10 rounds. Inhale and exhale. They could be fast, they could be slow, but let's focus on feeling every and any sensation as you move through this exercise. So notice where you feel the thing. Notice if your shoulder is feeling tight, or if your neck is feeling tight, or if you feel it in the legs, in the toes, if sitting is uncomfortable. Just build awareness, but remove any judgment from the awareness that you've built, or are building, I guess I should say. I'm about at 10 of these, so kind of like neutralize the spine again. Maybe open your eyes, uncross your legs if they're crossed, and switch to the other side, just evening out the body. And now place your right palm on the floor or the mat. Lift your left arm up overhead, getting a nice stretch in the side body. Keep rooting that left hip down so you get an extension here. That's an inhale. On the exhale, fold over your hips any amount. Place your left palm on the mat, and then peel your right arm up overhead, getting that same extension in the side body. We'll do that a couple of times, like so. Every exhale you fold, you press your palms into the mat, you lift up overhead. Every inhale you lengthen, stretch, and reach. Exhale, and inhale. Same practice of building that awareness in the physical body. So notice where you feel the thing. Notice if there's any tightness, if there's any tension, if there's any sensation that kind of feels misaligned. Work towards moving and breathing in a way that honors those sensations. Notice if as you continue to move, you feel new things or different things, or maybe things are opening up. Completely normal. Again, maybe remove the judgment from the experience and just allow the experience to be exactly what it is in this moment. After about 10 rounds, lengthen the spine once again. Now we get into our shoulders. Bring your shoulders back and down. Shoulder blades connect behind you. So your shoulders kind of like come up towards your ears. Shoulder blades connect behind you and you let them go. Do that a couple times. So inhale up, exhale down. I like to close my eyes because another limb of yoga is coming up in a different class, so I won't ruin the surprise, but it really is about kind of this idea that when you remove one sense, you can maybe focus on another one. I will admit that the pillow is not for me, so keep moving your shoulders up and over. I'm not very used to that one. And when you're about at 10 again, reset, and we'll go forward. So up, over, up and over, about 10. So just, again, move in a way that honors your body. This doesn't have to look a certain type of way. Don't like be like, oh, I have to look like her. That is not what we do in my classes. The only rule in every single one of my classes, I'll let you know now, is that everything is optional. This is your practice, not mine. This is your life, not mine. So you do what works well. You move in a way that honors you and your experiences, and I will do the same. All right, last little bit of our warm-up. Still in a seat. Let's find some circles now. A couple of times clockwise, so maybe about 10, and then we'll go counterclockwise. So inhale and exhale as you kind of like circle around the base of your spine. Other way, again, keep breathing, keep noticing, keep building that awareness in the physical body. I lied. I think I said this was the last warm-up, but we got our head to do as well. So once you're done with those circles, about 10, lengthen the spine, and we go into circles with our head. Go to the right, breathe into the neck, then go towards the back, breathe into the neck, then go towards the left, breathe into the neck, and then go forward. We'll oscillate, so then go left, go back, go right, go forward. My left side is killing me back here, and my right side is killing me up here. So what I'm doing is kind of moving and breathing in a way that honors those sensations. All right, thank you for the warm up. I'm going to work on this calendar at a different place. I'm going into the city. I'll show you how I use it because for me, spaces are super important. I can't necessarily work through everything in the same space because my mind just doesn't allow me to do so. The meditation, concentration will also be very different, and we'll work through that very shortly. Let's dive deep then into this calendar and into how we're going to use it every day. First thing I like to do is just set the tone for exactly what my goals are. This is hanumanasana, like we saw earlier, and this is January. I have literally done this for a gazillion years at this point. Mind, body, soul, money. I've practiced this strategy over and over. In the future, I'll start to post some of the videos that show my journey to learning this. But really, first thing to do is do not. So for the mind, read and journal every day. Do not scroll. Legit, do not scroll. And ignore deep dental hygiene. And the reason why I say deep is lots of Ayurveda knowledge on just kind of like how your mouth has a lot to do with your mind. So for me, this is important. And I've actually been doing this particular challenge since December 1st of 25. And I will continue to do this until my birthday on March 25th. And so hygiene, that might be spelt wrong, but who cares? So for my body, do not. One kind of movement, whether that's yoga, weights. I really want to try martial arts. Shout out to my brother who has been showing me how to kickbox. So this is kind of like my do in the body sense. My don't is eat out because that is one of my biggest problems. I'll be honest, I love food. And also ignore sleep hygiene. This is the worst part of my health. And I really want to make sure that in 2026, I very much improve this. When it comes to the soul, do dance, babies, dance. I am a dancer. I feel it in my heart. This is who I am. This is what I do. And this year, hopefully soon, I'll start putting myself out there again. I went to high school for dance. I danced in college. I was creative chair, financial chair of a dance group. And I think it's about time to use New York City in its fullest and dance. But also wellness democracy, DMCRCY. I'll talk more about this in the future, but just know that I also love to emote. My emotions play a big role in I think my well-being, and so if I'm able to express myself and emote through various modes of art, I believe that I get to my dreams a little bit quicker. Do not, for the soul, run away. I definitely can run away from things and from problems. Sometimes I try to convince myself that because I'm a doer, I don't run away. But the truth is that whenever something kind of like bogs me down or whenever something gives me a little bit of anxiety, I tend to run away so bad. And I fill my mind up with other things. Like I travel and I pick up a new hobby and I do blah, blah, blah. But it's oftentimes because I'm like running away from something. In 2026, and again, starting in December, I started not to run away. And baby, has this been a game changer for my well-being and for reaching some of the dreams that I have. I also want to be honest, this is another thing that I am not doing anymore
this product, and I'm not going to talk about it too much yet because this will have its own time and place in my journey and with people. But I got into the habit of running away and then trying to find a synthetic way to be at peace with myself. And this was the way. I'm proud to say I have not consumed any of this since this day, but again, it's not the time to talk about it. And then finally, for money, do not account for every cent. Sometimes it's easy to just kind of buy things mindlessly, and I don't want to do that anymore. I haven't actually. I'm proud of myself so far. Hopefully, we can keep the momentum. And then money, real estate with divs. I have my license. There's so much I can do with it. Yes, I have already done quite a bit with it, but I think that there's so much that I can share now that I've been in the industry for a while. There's so much help that I can give, and it's super important for me to kind of start to use this, especially in the money sense, because I can provide lots of value. And then do not easy buy anything. I do this every month. Probably for February and March, it'll look the same because it's a challenge that I have going on for myself right now. But later on, it might look different. And so we'll keep filling this out together every month on this side. And then on this side, this is where we take note of every single day. So every single day up until today, because today is the 7th, I made sure to wait until the day of the video to record this. Everything else has been kind of organized in my iMovie. That's what I'm using to edit. But I really wanted to take note of this first full week of the year because every pillar, mind, body, soul, money, needs a little bit of like a spectrum. So my mind, honestly, for all of these days, anxious chit chatter. Lots of new things are happening in my life, and my mind is just it's not helping me out that much. My body, I have been moving, so I'm very proud of this part, but I've been having some neck pain, and that has actually been all year. And you don't have to fill it out this ugly. Please fill it out in the way that makes sense. But part of the reason why I fill it out daily, and right now, obviously, this doesn't look daily, and moving forward, I will do this daily, probably digitally, or maybe, no, not really. I lied. I'm very much an analog kind of person, and then I transfer it digitally. I'll put it on here because one day is maybe a feeling, it's maybe a one off, but once you connect and add those days, it becomes data. It becomes information that then you can use to appropriately set goals, to set goals that align to where you want to go, but then also how you are supposed to do it based off of the information that you've been given or that you yourself are understanding that is true for you. And so, okay, mind, anxious, body, neck pain, soul. I actually feel really aligned in my soul. My soul feels like I'm finally the version of myself that I want to be, version of divs that I love. And then money, girl, boy, bro, sis, whoever. I have had to pay so much in fees these days for some of my assets and for some things that, like, yes, I have not bought anything, but bills, bills, bills. And I don't think I've made what I want to make. And so, granted, this looks crazy. This looks ugly. This is not the vibe that I usually do for my own kind of like peace of mind with the visuals. But this is the idea. On this side, you kind of sit down and think about what you want to dream and how you want to do the thing that you dream in each pillar. So do not, do not, do not, do not. And on this side, every single day is its own animal. It's its own world. What is the mind saying? What is your state of mind? Take 1 minute just to kind of jot it down. What is your body feeling? Where do you feel it? What is your emotional state? And what do you spend your money on? Like, what exactly is happening in your bank account? Because money specifically is really easy to just kind of like, I need this, I'm going to buy this, I need that. I would argue that you might not necessarily need as much as you think you need. And I'm going to put myself on the line to show you just how I do that. In the future, I want to do a little bit more vlog style instead of class style so that you could also see how I think about these things in a less teacher oriented way. And so think about a time you took a leap. For me, 2024 was the year I wanted to do this. 2026 is the year I'm actually doing it. This transition only happened because I put myself through this. I put myself through the challenges. I put myself through the work. I met myself, the good, the bad, the ugly, the sad, the happy, and everything in between. And so this week, after you take this class, after you kind of like integrate it, after you sit down on your calendar or in your journal and write down this side and this side, really reflect what was the largest leap you've taken in your life? What was the smallest leap? Do you consider them equally as worthy? How do you feel about risk? Do you allow yourself to leap blindly or are you a little bit more risk averse? Who do you know personally that has taken leaps that you admire? Who do you know non personally that has taken leaps that you admire? How often do you judge yourself for taking or not taking leaps? These are all the questions that we'll be kind of thinking through as you journal on Friday and maybe even as you meditate on your own time. Just really get honest with yourself. This is how I accomplish my dreams, and I'm excited to continue this with you. It might seem like a lot now, it might be a little bit scatterbrain, but that's okay. Even if you feel scattered, even if you feel like it does not make sense, that's what the year is for. And January, February, and almost half of March are moments to give yourself grace. It's still winter time. You'll see in the other classes that this is actually not the time to kind of go and attack a lot of things, but it is a time to be honest with yourself and to start preparing. And that is what I want for you. I love you quite a bit, quite a lot. Thank you so much for taking time to kind of go through this with me, and I'll see you in the next portion of class. Happy Wednesday.
Hanumanasana is the first pose that we'll explore on our journey together. And I'll be honest, Hanumanasana is all about a leap. If you received the email, you know that this is a leap that Hanuman, half monkey, half god, took from India to Sri Lanka to save his master's wife from the enemy. And in my world, this is a leap I'm taking from literally 2024 into 2026. This is a calendar that I created when I wanted to do this program originally, and there might be one or two of those classes on my YouTube currently, but then this is the embodiment. 2026. This is what it looks like. This is my leap, my efforts, and the work that I've put in order to be safe enough in my own body, in my own mind, and in my own breath and heart and soul in order to be able to do this for you. So the first thing to note is that Hanuman is this like leap, right? And we are all taking leaps. We're taking big leaps, we're taking small leaps, and it's not about judging ourselves through the leap. It's about understanding that, hey, we're transitioning. It's a new year. Maybe there are dreams that you haven't been able to accomplish, and I would argue that you might get there a lot slower by judging yourselves through it. Reason being is because I had that lesson. In 2025, I judged myself. I was like, hey, how can I get from here to here? Ooh, the judgment almost like snowballed into more and more and more procrastination and hesitation and things that happened in life that I wasn't able to get a grasp on, to kind of like manage. And it took me a full 365 plus more days in order to be able to feel safe enough to do this with you. And so let's dive deep into how we're going to use the 365 days together. This is Hanumanasana. This is the pose. There is a quote of the month, but we'll kind of work on that on week 3 of our classes, and we'll work on the physical pose itself, so like a really fun physical movement oriented asana class with a lot of pranayama as well, since it's a vinyasa, next week. But this week it's all about the mind. And honestly, no shade to anybody or anything, yoga and philosophy, the only real pose that they work towards is a seat. It's basically stilling the mind so that you can have a relationship with yourself, so that you can reach self-realization, so that you can unionize, so that you can be with yourself, so that you can look at yourself in the mirror, truly. And so that is week one. It's about going in day by day in January and really understanding, what is our mental state? How is it that we're existing? What does our mind think through? What is the mind chatter? What's the chit chatter happening up there? What does our body feel? Where does it feel it? What is our soul like? Do we have a good relationship with it? Do we not? Are we judging ourselves? And then lastly, because I am a businesswoman and I do believe that money was the reason that I could even take time to be a better version of myself for you in order to do this, especially in the society that we live in, money is a factor. And so I think working towards that relationship to money, working through that anxiety with money, is also extremely important in this time, and that's what week 4 is. Okay, this is a little snapshot of what the meditation looks like this week. Every week we'll work on a different practice. Again, dharana is concentration. It's one of the limbs of yoga. Dhyana is meditation. It's another one of the limbs of yoga. I speak Spanish, so my Sanskrit always has this like little Latina swang, or twang, I guess I should say, to it. So sorry if those words aren't necessarily pronounced like my yoga teachers want me to pronounce them, but here's where we are. And so dharana, focus on one point, focus on a candle. That was the one that I loved the most when I was doing my first yoga teacher training. Concentration. Dhyana is meditation. It's like that meditative state. And in yoga philosophy, it's said that you kind of go from one into the other. There's a limb before dharana, and again, that's a different class, but that one actually also helps us to then be able to concentrate, which then helps us to be able to meditate, which then the yogis believe allow us to reach samadhi, which is our kind of like blissful, all-aligned state. My own life philosophy is that I believe we might reach that point in time, but I don't think anyone, because they're human, stays there. I think that's why we need the practice, because we need to do it over and over and over again. And so today we're going to combine the two. We're going to have a mantra to meditate on, and lights and colors and water to fixate and concentrate on. Let's go ahead and do that.